me just quickly check. Yeah, I think we're live.
It says live.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Woo, we did it.
Hi, Jen.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I mean, it's a beautiful sunny day, so can't complain.
Beautiful and sunny here as well. Well, for those of you who are new to Facebook, well, not new to Facebook, but new to me, my name is Leonor, and this is my friend Jen. And we decided to do a quick live today and do a bit of a chat and tell you about where we've been, what we've been through, how we met, and where we are in the world. And so we basically met on board. Jen is a hairstylist or a hairdresser. What's the correct word? Hairdresser.
I say hairstylist.
Hairstylist. I'm a beauty therapist, and we met on board a cruise ship about a few years ago, just a few.
Just like this many.
just a few. It was 2004, I believe. 2004.
I think it about 2003, 2004.
Yeah, 2003, 2004. So we, according to our way of living in our studies, we decided on something else. But that's where we met. Jen, what brought you to ships? How did you wound up there, and how did we end up meeting each other?
Well, I had my mom to thank for that. Back in the day, there was this thing called a newspaper, and they would post ads in there. And she cut out this little tiny ad, and she's like, you've always wanted to travel. Why don't you try something like this? And I was already a licensed hairstylist, and I was over the age of 21. So I was pretty much at my liberty to do whatever I wanted, right? So I took a leap and decided to apply. And then next thing you know, like a month later, I'm on board this cruise ship. So, working in the spa, like the hairstylist, the salon was quite small. So most of my friendships did come from all you beauty therapists and massage therapists. So yeah, that was really special. And the fitness girls too, right?
Fitness girls, yes. Yeah, we had this spa on board over the waves, right? And it had its little area for the hair salon. It had the reception area. It had all the rooms, I think. How many rooms did we have for massage? It was like 10 or something.
There was a lot, yeah, 10 or 12.
10 rooms or so. And then at the bottom floor, we had the fitness area where we had all the machines where people can do their own thing. But we also had a big fitness area where we did classes and all of that. And hence we had usually two fitness girls or guys, because we rotated a lot, of course. I mean, on board ships, we rotate a lot. The contracts are 4 months, 6 months, whatever they may be. So each team rotates, and you meet new people. Were you already there when I got in, or was it the other way around? You came in and I was already there. I don't remember.
I think you were already there, and then I was there for 6 months, and then I guess time was up there. I was still under contract, but then I actually got moved to a different ship.
Okay.
So then I spent a few more months there.
All right. So you moved from another ship to the Adventure of the Seas.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. And actually another little secret that not too many people know about is that they actually trained me to do teeth whitening while I was working aboard.
I remember that.
Like it was something else, and I'll never forget those experiences.
Yeah, we had this huge thing that we would put in our mouth, and it would keep us like that, and we couldn't talk. And then the light on top of us, it was so funny when we did the trainings and all that. I remember that. And remember, well, for those of you who don't know, so being on board cruise ships can be quite a lot of fun. And I know it's one thing to be just a passenger, just a client having their own vacation. And it's a whole new story being on the background, being actually working there. So we live everything and intensely. We rotated every week. We got new clients in, but we stayed the same. So normally when the clients come in, for us, it was every Sunday, we had to do this huge parade at evening. So to welcome the guests and to show them everything that goes around in the ship. Do you remember that?
I forgot about it actually, but now I'm having some vivid flashbacks. And we had to dress up all like spa-like and put facial masks on or wear robes and slippers. And we got creative actually.
We did. We had to. So each area being in shops, being in spa, being the restaurant area, we had to showcase what we had best. So in our, we would dress up using, as you said, masks, our faces green with robes. Once I just went outside and paraded with that thing in my mouth, which was hilarious. But it was so much fun. And then, of course, people would not recognize it because we were all behind those crazy outfits and those.
It didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter at all. But this was how we invited guests that evening, told them, come see us. We're a lot of fun. And we tried to get everybody on there. On the flip side of it, so coming back to living everything to the fullest, I think in a way, and I don't know if you agree with me, Jen, living on board is like a sort of an enclosure. So everybody lives. How many were we? I think we were about 3,500 crew in total. So
I think so.
We have our own area on the background where we, as crew, can get together and enjoy ourselves, our own disco, our own places to hang out, our own gym and all of that. So everything was lived very intensely. And yes, we did go out whenever we were on some ports, and we tried to have as much fun as we could and get to know each other. That's where we knew each other a little bit better outside of work.
It was fun too. Like we would get incentive days off too. So you were like a tourist on your days off essentially, right? We could do anything we wanted. And, usually staff at other resorts and, hospitality places were extra friendly to cruise ship staff. So, it was good. Actually, like those days off really is where we, like you said, where we got to know each other and,
a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shared rooms. You usually share rooms with people from your area. So in our case, people from the spa area. We had hairdressers, we had nail technicians, and we had wonderful nail technicians. I can't remember her name. She was from Jamaica. She was absolutely amazing. I don't know. I think you met her as well.
Yeah, she was there.
She was, I can't really remember her name, but she was absolutely amazing. We met a lot of other hairdressers, we met a lot of other therapists all over the world. Jen right now is back home in Canada. My home is Portugal, although now I've moved to Texas, and I've been in the States for about 11 years. Fortunately enough, we're in the same time zone now. We found that out.
Yeah.
And we left ships and we stayed in touch through Facebook here and there, but up until recently is when we reconnected again and started chatting again, and all those memories come flowing by and flashing by, and it's nice to remember certain things and talk about what we learned, what we experienced. Would you recommend going to ships to people just starting?
I think so. I mean, like, I just remember how much energy I had as a young person too, to be able to, handle those long days and, all the extra excitement in the nightlife. Yeah. And so you really have to be running around the clock. And I wouldn't ever, I don't regret it by any means. Like, it was a life-changing event for sure. I think, well, for myself, I didn't do it for very long, but my takeaway from that too is also these relationships that we built. So, the friends that I've met that were also Canadians, or, my roommate that was from South Africa. And, we all ended up like still through social media, keeping in touch. And now it's really amazing to see where everyone's been. And it doesn't feel like it's been 16 years or however long.
No, it doesn't feel at all. You feel it's like sort of a flashback, and you feel back in those same days and you reconnect. And it's funny to see how we've grown, of course, and how our lives have changed. So you went back to Canada. Did you went right away back to work? Was that always your intent? Because I know now you have your own hair salon.
No, I came back. I mean, I worked a little bit just to, build up a bank account again and everything. But I actually ended up selling my car and traveling to Australia for a good chunk of the year.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah. And that was on my own, completely solo. I did end up meeting up with a fellow Canadian friend there later on, but I met up with other cruise ship people. So the Australian friends that I had made out there, I stayed with them and we traveled all over together. And that was another big moment in life too, doing that trip like by myself, right? And so when I came back to Canada after that, I was so empowered and I was like, I don't need no man in my life. I'm going to travel the world and be single forever. And then like a week after being home, I met my future husband and didn't leave ever again.
That's life.
And he's a Winnipeg firefighter. So he's like, I have my career. I'm not going anywhere. I have a pension. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm laying roots in my hometown.
Yeah, okay.
And that's history. So then, I just have been working as a hairstylist for, now 20 years. And
awesome.
I couldn't imagine doing anything else, really. I mean, I still want to travel, and I have traveled quite a bit in between, but with him, of course.
Mm-hmm. And you now have 2 kids.
Yes. So, and my son actually, he said he hasn't even been on an airplane yet, and he's 6. I'm like, oh my God, well, we got to go somewhere.
We got to take care of that.
Yeah.
So how long, you've owned your own business now? So you're 20 years with your own business, or was it with somebody else and then you opened your own shop?
It's my mom's and mine.
Your mom's and yours.
So the salon has been here for almost 27 years.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And ever since I was young and they were traveling more frequently, I took over, managerial duties and staffing and all that kind of stuff. And so just over time, I've just been part of it. Perfect.
And how does the pandemic hit you? Because the pandemic hit everybody. How did you cope with it? What did you do? What was your go-to?
We were shut down twice. So back in March, so exactly 1 year ago was our first shutdown, and that lasted 7 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then summer was great around here. Like it was almost feeling like everything was back to normal. And then once we got to the end of October, beginning of November, that's when things were challenging again around here. And so we were shut down again for almost 3 months then. So it was like 11 weeks of not working. However, there's a silver lining there too, because my daughter had a pretty bad injury with her arm from a horseback riding accident. And so she was home basically the whole time as well. So I was able to then help her with her homeschooling and stuff like that and nurse her back to health.
Okay, so it always has the flip side. It always has a good side, not always bad.
Exactly.
Some people are telling me here that the sound is not too good. Let me know if the sound has gotten a little bit better, if you don't mind. But keep going, Jen. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, no, I was gonna say, but as far as like the actual business goes, like the girls that we work with too, like we kept in contact through things like this, Zooms, right? We'd have still a little team meeting or a happy hour, Christmas cheers, so to speak. And we were able to offer curbside pickup for retail products, as well as like little take home packages of hair color so people could do their own roots and things like that. So we tried to do so many things to keep busy and keep alive this business, and drawing new clientele, because now that we have opened up, we've come to another change in our salon where we are now actually 2 salons that basically have merged together. Okay. So there was another I guess you could say local salon that was we both had lower staff, and so it was just a good fit for them to come over here. So yeah, it's been really nice having some new people in the salon, and it feels busy again. So
energy.
Yeah, totally. We just have to maintain social distance all the time. And that's the challenge because people are excited to come to the salon. They're all
For
happy. They're
sure.
like,
For
oh, it's
sure.
like party town in
Yeah,
here. Like,
I started calling it physical distancing more than social distancing because I think we can still be social. We just have to keep the physical bodies a little bit further away, right?
absolutely. Yeah, definitely staying social is important.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned you did those little kits and all that. I think that's really thinking outside the box because you have to reinvent and do whatever you can to not only keep your clients but keep them happy as well, keep them entertained.
Hmm.
I'm sure that doing their own color is quite quite something.
And when they're like, well, I think I'll get my husband to help me, I'm like, whoa, no, you should do this on your own because that could end in a big argument.
Really?
Boy.
Yeah, I try doing my own. I do my own. I just ask him, can you check on the back? Did I get everything? Just let me know.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
but
get better.
it's you do get better at it. But we had all these visions of everything locked down, so no hair. Everybody's got outgrown in their hair. Everybody's got hairs everywhere, especially the ladies. So we had to
Yeah,
do
your
whatever we
industry,
could.
can't even imagine what that's like. Back to
Yeah,
the old 70s, hey?
back to where we were before in the beginning. So it was pretty cool. And turning back around to what you said that you went away for a trip by yourself to Australia
Yeah.
and you stayed with friends that you met on ships. That's another thing that I remember. And several of the people that were in our team in the spa, they met their future husband on ships. They're now married, happily married, and have their kids. I can remember right off the bat, two of them, Juanita and Finn, which we
Yes.
kept in touch with. And it's funny that we have all these people from all over. I mean, Ireland, Slovenia, Canada, USA, South Africa. We had so many girls from South Africa as well. Jamaica, Portugal, Spain. We had a lot of. Remember Raquel? Were you there with Raquel?
Yes. Yeah, I remember
Raquel.
Raquel.
Raquel, I still keep in touch with Raquel.
Do
Raquel,
you?
if you're
Oh my
watching
God.
this, shout
Yeah.
out to
Hi,
you.
Raquel.
I'm Raquel. I'm from Spain. And
She was my
she's still
go-to
very sweet.
translator all the time.
Yep.
I would be crying because these women would be speaking Spanish to me. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Raquel, come.
Come here. Raquel now has a little baby as well. He's
Oh
18
wow.
months old. She's no longer a hairdresser. She stopped. She's totally changed her life. And it's interesting to see how we've evolved, if
Yes.
that's the correct
Yeah, I
word.
think so.
What we found in our lives, what we turned around and did. It's so nice. But I think most of all, it's the staying in touch, the keeping in touch, the having that friendship flair come back and all the things that we shared, whether or not, if sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad, but hey, it was
Yeah.
part of our lives, right? Part of our lives growing up. And it's very interesting. It's something that I truly recommend. You work like hell.
Yeah.
You work quite a lot, but it's a lot of fun as well.
And the other perk too, getting paid in cash. I don't know if they still do that, but
They do.
that was
Well, I don't think not as much, probably just the tips, but the rest now is everything through bank account and all that. But getting
we were
paid in
like,
cash was pretty awesome.
it was pretty cool. And I think also just like that empowerment or like independence, like even just going out there. And do you remember even the training facility in
Yes, in
the
London.
UK? Yeah. And so that was intense too, right? Like we had to dress in these awful uniforms and show up every day and train. And I felt for those that had to stay there a long time. I was there
Yes,
just
sure.
for a bit.
Always show up, always with makeup on, always hair done. Remember that?
Oh, they would
Especially
critique you. They'd be like,
for the girls. This is
you
not
do
right.
this, you do this.
Your
Yeah.
hair is out of place. This isn't that. You're not very well dressed. Your shoes are not clean. Your outfit is not clean. And then you had limited options because you had to wash your own outfit, dry it in the heater. Remember, on the walls.
Yeah.
That's what I used to do. And we
Oh.
stayed. It's funny that you mention it. To me, being there, and we stayed at the YMCA. For those of you who don't know, the YMCA is a facility that mostly attends to young men. So, but we had our own floor. We had two floors, I think.
Yeah.
We had 2 floors, but it's a facility for young men or men that don't have a place to go, and they have their shelter there. So we encountered a lot of drama. We encountered a lot of living with just the
Yes.
basics, because it was 3 and 4 of us to a room, a small room, mind you, and just living with the bare essentials. I mean,
Mhm.
we had our suitcase, we had 2 uniforms if we were lucky, and then we had our changes of clothes, and you have to live off of that. I mean, you had your little tiny shower, and everybody had to live there. So I stayed there for about a month, I believe. I don't know how long you stayed there.
I was there
Because,
only a week.
yeah, depending on their need for you and how good you are, and if you're trainable and if you're ready to go, they will just ship you out.
Yeah.
If you still need training, or if your personality doesn't fit what they need at the time, then you'll stay. That's why Jen was saying, pity those who had to stay longer.
Yeah, because I remember there was a girl that was from New York, and she was waiting to go on a cruise from New York because of her ethnicity and her skills. And so she was waiting for a spot to open up, and she had been there for like 6 weeks already.
Yeah,
And
it can take a toll on you. But
mhm.
it at the same time, it was humbling. It was very, very humbling. It brought you back to, listen, it's not just stuff. All you need is a bed and a place to eat, and you're good. And also going to the ship, the same thing. I mean, our cabins were very tiny. 2 of us in each cabin, bunks. If we're lucky, we had a bigger cabin, or your roommate was not there, which was great. But then we had our tiny, tiny shower. We had internet in the cabins, remember? But it was so
Yeah.
limited. It was so limited
You
that
could
we
really
couldn't.
do like an email.
You could
Like
do an
that was
email for half an hour. It would take you half an hour for it to upload. It was. So
Yeah.
any chance we could, we would go outside to ports. We would try and reach home. Internet was not like it is today, where you just flip a phone.
Yeah.
But it was so interesting. We had so many things thrown at us. And me and Jen, we were in this cruise ship from Adventure of the Seas, and shout out to all the crew members of Adventure of the Seas and Royal Caribbean. And we were out of Puerto Rico every Sunday. So every Sunday we would go back to Puerto Rico. If we were lucky, we would go out and just have breakfast outside, because
Yeah.
it's pretty intense to live on board. So we would like a breath of fresh air. Remember the boat drills? Was it boat drills?
Boat drills. Yeah. We have to
Right.
bring our big life vests and
Every Sunday we had to do boat drill and be there for the guests and do all of this. And you work about 14 hours, 16 hours. You work back to back. You start at 8, you finish at 8, and then you still have to clean up. You still have to get ready for the next day. If anything, I think it just gives you a lot of work ethic.
it absolutely does. I think that's really what solidified my confidence in my career too, because of the experience and your pace. You had to be on pace. You had to go, and still offer great customer service, right?
That's
So
where
you
you get the
just
tips
cut corners. You had to be on all
on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Even on your days off, right? If you were walking around the ship, you'd still have to wear your badge, and you'd still have to answer people's questions as if you were just a regular crew member. Yeah.
And I came back from the ships and I smiled to everybody, and everybody was looking at me, what the heck is going on? Did it happen to you?
Yeah. Well, I always smile, so that's
Yeah, I know, but I mean, here in Portugal, it's not for a person just to smile at you in the street.
Oh,
People are very frowned.
My province is known as Friendly Manitoba, so you walk down the sidewalk and everyone says hi.
That's perfect. That's awesome. I appreciate that's cool. Just very, very cool. I think a smile just brings happiness to the next person that you see. So it was intense. It was very, very hard work, a lot of hard work back to back, but I definitely recommend it. As you heard, Jen also recommends it. It gives you a lot of work ethic. It makes you be on top of your game, because you have back-to-back clients. There's no time. You just clean it up and on to the next, and you had to be really on top of it. You were doing updos with it, were the main thing over there, of course.
Yeah.
And
in a half an hour.
In half an hour.
They would show up with wet hair. So it was always challenging.
we had to do our very, very best. We had to find ways to give our best outcome in the short time that we had, because that way it's the way that we had repeat clients, of course, and we got more money because we received tips as well. And if you had done a good job, you would receive a good tip. And of course, at the end of the week, you would get your pay. And it was quite awesome to see all those dollar bills stacking up. I wanted
to add one more thing that I didn't think of back when I was, on the cruise, but it's really a job for any age, like
True.
I was really young, but then you think, okay, well, there was the managers. So they were a little bit older, more experienced in the cruise world too. And then I was thinking even in the future, like the folks that were there, and that was almost their retirement job, right? Like the nurse or the doctor, like they for sure were older and had retired from their practice, and then we're doing, a couple months contract on a cruise. Like what a way to spend your retirement, cruising around and still earning an income. And so I kind of jokingly always told my husband, I was like, you could be like the fire chief on the cruise ship.
Right.
Hey. I'm like, like then we could just sail around the world for the rest of our lives.
It is you brought me back to where I wanted to say before. Cruise life is very addictive, not only as a client, but definitely as a worker. And I've seen now, I've joined a group of people that have worked on board, and everybody's just aching to go back. Everybody's just, of course, stand still for mostly the cruise ship as well. So no work at all. And people are just aching to go back. It's very, very addictive because you meet so many new people each time. You learn so many new things. You see so many new places. And for a fraction of what you would spend if you would go exactly to each place, you fly to each place and get a hotel in each place. No, I mean, on a cruise ship, everything is already packed there for you. You pack once. You get on the ship. If you're a client, you do it for 1 week, 2 weeks. I mean, each day you're in a different port. All you have to do is just go out, have fun, and then come back in, sleep where your clothes are, so you don't have to switch from hotel room to hotel room. If you're like us and working there 6 months, 8 months in the same ship, all you need basically is your uniform, because that's mostly what you're dressed up with. And then your swimsuit normally, only if you work in Alaska or something like that. Bathing suit, and you're out, and you would go out on ports and just enjoy the life there. I mean, we were pretty lucky. We were set in the Caribbean. I think that we were very, very lucky with the route that we had. And I would go back in a flash. I would really go back in a flash. I do miss it.
Have you ever traveled back to any of those islands?
I have, and I went back on a cruise ship, but it wasn't the Adventure of the Seas. It was the Navigator of the Seas. It's a pretty similar ship, and it was so interesting, the feeling that you have going to all the places, but being a client this time, being on the other side. And I took my daughter there as well. She learned to walk on board. She was starting to do her, and she learned to walk there. It was quite amazing, and the people there were so nice. Generally nice, because there's the nice that you make up, and there's the generally nice.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And it was very good, and I think it's an experience that everybody should have. But then again, follow your dreams, and it's for every age. We had a girl, I'm not sure if you were there when she came along, or maybe no, my mistake. She was with me in training, so she was 56 at the time. She was the older in our group. She was a massage therapist. She was from South Africa. She said, F it. She sold everything, put whatever she wanted in storage, and she came over and she did that, and she loved it. She loved it. So it's for any age, whatever age you feel like, it's out there. It's open. So it's never late to follow your dreams, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I can't wait to get traveling again too. So that's exciting.
I'm sure we will soon. I've been fortunate I can go back and forth to Portugal, because I'm Portuguese, even though living in the US. It's been good to be with my family, but it's hard. This year has been hard, especially for people that like to travel and like to be outside. But also if you have to stay in your own place by your own accord, by your own decision, it's one thing. If they make you stay in
I
your
know.
place, you feel trapped, right?
That's when you really get the bug and you're like, no, where are we gonna go? And in our city, like we're very close to a bunch of beautiful lakes, and camping and stuff like that is huge here. So April 8th is when our camping opens up and people can start booking for the summer, and it's going to be a frenzy because everybody's staying put,
I'm
and
sure.
everybody's got their trailers and everything ready to go. And like I said, today is a beautiful sunny day, so you can just feel the warmth in the sun. You're like, it's coming, it's time.
The traveling jitters are starting for sure. As soon as everything opens up, I think will be a flood of people
Yeah,
trying
even just
to
getting like an hour out of town feels so good, right?
yeah, for sure.
See the countryside a bit.
Well, I'm so glad we reconnected and we've stayed in touch. I mean, I reached out to Jen again and said, what's up? What are you doing? Because I know she does, she sells some products online as well. So I wondered, I like the products that you sell. Do you want to sell them to me? So that was what she said. Yeah, of course. Why not?
Who would say no to that?
Who would say no to that, right? So we sort of rekindled that way, and it's been fun. And I've stayed in contact with Jen. I've stayed in contact with Sylvia. I think you remember Sylvia as well.
Yes.
She was our receptionist. I might try and bring her on and speak to her, but she's a little bit wary of Facebook. No, I don't like people to talk about me or see me or blah, blah, blah. So, okay, all right, whatever.
Well, there's actually a new thing on Instagram too, where you can actually have up to 4 people.
You can? We got to try that.
Yeah,
We
I know.
should try
How
that.
fun would that? It would be like a party.
For sure. I can think of Finn if she's up for it. Finn is now a makeup artist, and she's doing wonderfully well. She's doing a lot of gigs for brides and photo shoots and all of that. And custom makeup that she's doing. She was always outside of the box. Even when we were there, she was always bringing this aromatherapy stuff and all these new things. So I'm glad that she stayed on her path. And her husband, I followed her husband, which is now a National Geographic, yeah,
yes,
photographer. So it's so cool to say, I know that guy. I worked with him.
Yeah, I know. Fantastic to keep in touch with all these people. So we'll have to try and do the face-to-face with them again.
Maybe we should try that. But thank you so much for saying yes to coming in today. And chatting a little bit and telling our listeners, our followers, a little bit about working on board ships and how much fun it is. No, thank you for coming. It was a great pleasure. And guys, if you don't follow us yet here on Facebook or even on Instagram, my handle is @Leonor Faria. You can see my name here, Leonor Faria 27. Sorry, was switched to Portuguese now. And
yeah, I can put my stuff in the comments too.
Why not? Yeah, and it's Jennifer DJ, I believe.
Yeah.
Jennifer DJ. So follow us on Instagram, hit us up, ask us any questions. And if you found this interesting, just hit the comment, even if it's just an emoji or anything like that. Give us your love, give us your thoughts, ask us your questions. We'd be happy to answer. And share. If you see any value of this, just share. Hit that share button. Thank you for being here with us, Jen. Thank you.
Yeah,
also
you're welcome
for being here. Don't run away right away, because I need to chat with you a little bit after this. Haha, private.
Yeah.
And it was good. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you so much. Big love to everyone. Big love and shout out to all of you that worked with us, and also, of course, on board. It's great. It's great to have you. It's great to see you. Bye-bye.